welcome to week 7. Last couple of weeks have been a little bit difficult, but we've managed to make it through, and everybody's managed to make it through. So, best of luck through the end of the semester. I think we'll be fine. Okay, so I just want to work through these. There's a lot to do this week, but most of it is stuff you're familiar with. For example, here are the announcements, and there's a map for the remainder of the semester. I've shown you that before. I just wanted to put it in there again so you can take a look at it. And here's just a little look ahead. We're spending the next 2 weeks to write a critique, and the first thing you'll want to do is to read the textbook chapter 2 on critical reading and writing, and then skim the article we're going to critique, and then do the social annotation of the same article on hypothesis. I will have directions for that actually in hypothesis, so it'll be important for you to follow those with some care, because I'm going to do something a little bit different this week. So once you're in hypothesis, you open up the page notes, and I'll have a screencast on how to do this, what are the directions I want you to do. So you're going to have to watch another screencast on that. Okay? You're going to keep on with your plans and reflections for the week, just like we've done. We will end those in another couple of weeks. If you look at the map for the rest of the semester, you'll know when we're done with those. Here's the assignment tracker. If you want to, I know I skipped that last week. I just ran out of time. But here it is this week. So you can either click on the link, and that'll take you to the Google Doc. That's a share for that, where you can view it, or you can download the PDF version here. The Zoom links for Monday are up. Here they are, 8 a.m., 9:05, and 10:20. And then the others are pending, and I'll get those up the night before. The critique reading assignment in the text. So, you've got the text. It's called What It Takes, and there's chapter 2 in that textbook. It's called Critical Reading and Critique. How to read, how to write critiques. And it's really important that you read that, so I would skim it first, and then second I would close read it as best you can with the time you have available. And we'll talk about this a little bit on Monday and a lot more on Wednesday. And if we need to, we'll talk about it a little more on Friday. But that's your textbook. Just read that textbook. You can mark it up if you want. You can, whatever you want to do. Just make sure you've read the whole thing, because critical reading is super important in so many ways in the society we live in now, with so much misinformation and disinformation and downright lies and online and elsewhere. So pretty important work. The article that we're reading, that we're going to critique, that we're going to apply all this information to, is called Campuses Are Places for Open Minds. And I have found this to be a rich and valuable article. I've been using it for several years now, and it's just astonishing how important it remains. So read the article for critique, and again, make sure you skim it, and then you read it closely. And if you want to, you can, set up your own hypothesis account, the private account, and mark it up there if you want to. But we will do the social annotation. I'll describe that in a minute. Here's our checklist. I got tired of Digital Ugly, so I just took some time. You'll notice that there is a method to this madness. All the check marks are over here. Anything that is in pink, it tells you it's a verb. It wants you to do something. So this is a read, this is a read, this is a use, this is read, write, watch, read and write. Okay? And if you don't like that one, there's also a JPEG of a much simpler version that you can read there. Week 7 walkthrough, that'll be right there. Right now, it's got nothing in it yet. This is the hypothesis social annotation of the critique article. They're written by two men, Haslin and Haidt, or Haidt, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. And you will be asked to follow the directions under the page notes. And I will also have a screencast for this available, because I have some very specific things I want you to, specific ways I want you to read it. I want you to read it with critique in mind. Okay. Week 7 work plan. Well, we know what this is all about, don't we? Don't get lazy. Don't get the matter of fact here. Plan your week. You know, if you've only got 3 items you can work on this week, then work on them. Tell me what they are specifically. Tell me when you're going to do it. In other words, a date, but a time. Make sure that you are just make sure that you have stuff that's achievable. Because we are going to have conferences soon about this. And you are going to hand in drafts that I'm going to read. I'll let you know right now, when you hand those drafts in, I am completely covered up with 3 classes submitting drafts in. So there will be something else he'll be working on in the week or so, week and a half, 2 weeks that I'm working on those drafts. Because I want you to have, I want us to have a conference, and you'll have a conference about problems you're having in this, and that week we'll just do conferences, and then you'll turn them in, and that week I'll just grade stuff. So you will have some a light schedule after we get to that point. So 2 weeks of critique, and we'll talk about conferences, and then we'll talk about turning in drafts. Well, this is the midway point in the course. Here, research reflections again. Again, don't get lazy on me with these. Really use them, because remember, you're going to use the research reflections to write your final exam, which is an essay. All right, we'll talk about that a little bit more later. And then you've got the critique checklist, and this is just a way of looking into next week after this is over, where we're actually going to write the critique. And I've done some work for you here, so it would pay you to look at this closely and see what I've done. I've tried to help you with the format. I've tried to help you with looking at how to break the article down into stages of thought, like we did in summaries. Same thing's going to apply here. Remember to read that textbook. That textbook is one of the best introductions to critique that I have ever seen. That's why I use that textbook, because it's good. Okay, that's why I want you to keep the textbook when you're done with the class. I guess that's it. Just a quick walkthrough. We'll do this again on Monday. Make sure everybody understands what's going on. So I'll see you then. Take care.